Hey guys, welcome back to Senegalese Twisted. Today I'm back again with another review for Maîtresse d'un homme marié, and today I'm going to talk about episode 20. The episode actually starts with Amsa asking Birame for entrepreneurial advice, and Birame tells Amsa that he doesn't have time for her, and Amsa tells him that she wants to open her own hair salon. But Birame is like, well, if you want to open your own hair salon, it's simple, because all you have to do is have the girl come over, braid her hair, and then she leaves. And Amsa is like, well, if it was that easy, I would have opened it already and the whole neighborhood would be lined up. She specifies that she wants to know how to manage her employees, but also how to get suppliers for wigs. Birame tells her that, oh, you're ambitious, okay, I will help you, however now I do not have time. Then we move on to the hospitals. The twins are with Ben, and the twins are named Yolande and Mam Binta. And Yolande is the one that is, crying for her mom, and she insists to Ben that she wants to see her mom. The other one, Mam Binta, actually makes the comment that if this is what marriage is, she wants to stay single for life. Of course, Ben is like, well, that's not nice. And she wants to know why she would say something like that. And she tells her aunt that, it's okay because our father, he only chases women. And Ben is like, where did you hear that? And she tells her aunt that she heard her parents fight. And of course Ben is like, if adults are fighting, you do not listen to them. And she was like, no, it was just a coincidence, I just overheard them. But still, Ben is not happy. Next we are at Seneginja, and Salif is actually here to talk to Birame, and he tells him that, I want to sell aquanic. However, Birame does not want to sell yet, but Salif actually gets a bit mad because he's like, well, it is my project. And Birame tells him that, well, if it was your project, then why did you ask me for permission? And two, you already know that you need everyone on board to actually agree before we actually do it. And on the other hand, Birame is also a bit, suspicious of Salif, because he's like, well, I don't know what you have done for you to be in such a hurry to sell everything, but we are not going to do that. Then we finally lay our eyes on Tahirou 2.0, and in this scene he's actually waiting for Ben, and Ben comes. However, he doesn't speak because he's looking at her very awkwardly, very ashamed. And Ben is just, starting to talk and tells him that, yeah, and of course you're gonna look at me like this because of everything that you have done. She even compares the two of them, Tahirou 2.0 and Ben, as Tom and Jerry, because she has chased him literally out of every corner because she wanted him to go, one certain path, and that path was with Dalanda instead of ending up with Jalika all the time. She's also telling him that, you are the eldest, however you behave like a child, and everything I said to you all those times again and again, it was all to avoid this exact situation. You have been stubborn, now find your own way out. Tahirou 2.0 finally talks, and he's like, I actually came here for solutions. What should I do? The nerve. He's telling Ben that he tried to call Dalanda so many times, she doesn't pick up, and that he's afraid that something will happen to her because of her state. But of course, Ben is like, her state? You are now worried about her state? Dalanda has been everything and supportive of you. She even explains that at the beginning of their relationship or marriage, that everyone in the family thought that Dalanda was only in it for her own interests. saying that she may have been like a gold digger, because at the beginning of Dalanda and Tahirou, we could also sense that Ben had this animosity against, you know, Dalanda. She adds that they thought that Tahirou 2.0 was crazy and that he was just following Dalanda in, you know, whatever she wanted to do. She admits that, you know, they blamed Dalanda for everything, but, you know, the longer that she stayed in the house, she could actually see that everything that they blamed Dalanda for, that it was all Tahirou's fault. I could have told you that. She then adds that, you know, every single, you know, mistake that you have made, I have washed it, and everything that you have done, I, you know, turned it all around to make you look good. She then ends by saying that, you know what, you know, you married a lawyer. She has studied her whole life to become one. She knows the law, and I really hope that you will end, you know, that in the end you will come out of it okay. Also, what does Jalika have that it is worth it to you to come to this point? And of course, Tahirou 2.0 is like, no, she has nothing, but you know, the love that I have with Jalika, it's so sincere, and it was love at first sight, etc, etc. Ben is like, Tahirou, are you normal? I think we need to get you like a treatment because you sound ridiculous. First of all, you lost Dalanda, you lost one of the twins, and the way I see it, I think you may lose the actual twin girls as well. But of course, Tahirou 2.0 doesn't want to hear this, and he's like, you know what? I'm done. I just came here for advice, but it's okay. Then we see Lala and Fily, and they're making themselves ready because they have another event. Fily is telling Lala that she needs to hurry up because they cannot, you know, go there very late. But of course, Lala's like, no, we have to look really good. And Fily's like, we have to look good because when we come there, everybody's going to know that, you know, we're back together. And they will be all so surprised. Lala actually talks about what happened with the prosecutor. And Fily's like, okay, so what happened? And she tells everything, that she went there for breakfast, she saw him there, that they ended exchanging business cards, and that the next day or like a couple of days later that she actually got like a big bouquet of flowers. But Fily doesn't like to hear this because she looks at her funny and she's like, I hope you stopped him right there. And she was like, yes, of course I stopped him. And Fily doesn't stop because she's like, because Sheikh is here, right? And of course Lala's like, oh my god, please stop talking about Sheikh. And speaking of Sheikh, the other day he came early in the morning and she explains that part that, you know, she invited him for breakfast, but he wasn't able to because he was busy, and she invited him for dinner. And she even adds to Fily that she proposed to him that because then, you know, they could sit as a family and Noura could, you know, ease her mind about how her parents are dealing with each other and everything. But at the end of this scene, Fily actually makes a joke because apparently Lala does not do breakfast, does not do lunch, she does not even do dinner. So yeah, Birame and Mansura are very, very busy, you know, on their computer in that room, and apparently they are discussing everything about Birame City. Mansura tells Birame that, you know what, Birame City, it's actually feasible, however we will need a lot of money. Mansura tells Birame that, you know, we need a very solid, you know, proposition to convince the others. And Birame talks about how their biggest problem would be the technical side of Birame City. And Mansura even adds that this could be the thing that could show to the others how capable Birame is and that he can prove himself with this project. She adds to say that, you know what, Seneginja needs something new, something refreshing. And you know what? I think you can bring that. Then we see that Mère is giving Pagay a manicure. And she's even saying to Birame that, you know what, Birame, you are not home a lot and it seems like you are our roommate instead of someone who actually lives in the house. And then Birame comes to sit on the couch and tells his mom that, you know what, Mom, I have been really busy with a big project and all I want from you is for you to pray for me and my project. He says that the project is called Birame City, and both Pagay and Mère laugh because they don't know what this is. Pagay asks Mère what is it, and she's like, I don't know. However, she does say to Birame that, you know what, God will be there with you. And of course Birame is like, well, Mom, you know, I can accept it if Cher cannot, you know, put any trust in me. And even you have the choice not to trust me, but I do want your prayers. However, Mère is like, no, Birame, my prayers are always, you know, in your favor. The only thing that you need to do is say Amin. And then it's finished. She adds to say that if you work hard for Birame City, then God will assist you, help you. Since you were a child, you have always been courageous, and if someone hit you, there would be no peace until you hit them back. And you took that with you into adulthood. And then the three of them actually, you know, share some blessings. And once Birame leaves, you know, Mère and Pagay actually discuss about Birame City. And Pagay says like, yeah, Birame, that's a name, and City, it's a city. So what would it be? And it's so funny because they're actually really cute. Then we see that Lala is meeting up with the prosecutor and his name is Maktar. He's asking her if she got the flowers, and while she responds yes, she actually gets a new flower. Lala's like, don't you think you're going a little too hard on the flowers, Maktar? And he's like, you know, the reason flowers exist is because we have to water them, and I want to represent that water in your life. And Lala actually tries to, you know, reject him sweetly because she's like, you know what, I don't think I am in a position to actually pursue something romantically, because I think I should focus on my children and, you know, sorting out my life. And you know very well what I have been through in order to get to this point. Of course, Maktar is very, very, very understanding and is like, you know what, I actually really agree, because I think we should indeed close this door, but I would want us to open another door. And she's like, what door? And he's like, friendship. And she's like, okay, I can go with friendship, and I think that we would have an amazing friendship. And they actually, you know, clink clink, and that's the start of a friendship, but only God knows if it's going to stay a friendship. Then we see another Seneginja company meeting, and Birame is only presenting his idea for Birame City. And he's done talking about what Birame City actually entails. Salif is like, I'm sorry, but this sounds too ambitious. Where will you get the money to fund all of this? As Salif is asking this, his phone actually rings. However, Mansura answers the question because she can feel that Salif is actually a bit worried about Aquanic, that, you know what, we are not obligated to finish a big project before starting a new big project. This is where Salif leaves and takes the phone call. When Salif is away, Cher wants to know, because it is not specified specified in the feasibility report. He wants to know how much they estimate the project, and Birame tells him hundreds of billions. In the meantime, we see that Salif is actually a bit agitated, and we hear on the other line a woman saying that, you know what, they need the money now before we lose everything. And Salif is trying to see how much time he gets in order to get the money, and the woman says that he has 1.5 months, and he tells her that he will do everything he can on his side, but that the woman has to do everything on her side to gain more time. And that is why he wanted to sell Aquanic today. As Salif comes back, Birame tells them that, you know what, don't worry, because I have a couple of investors lined up for this project and for the funding. He asks Salif if he's okay, and he says that, you know what, I want to assure everyone that, you know, this Birame City is not going to interfere with the Aquanic project, and that nobody has to worry about that. But also that the sale of Aquanic apartments will be done in a couple of months. However, we just heard that Salif only has 1.5 months. All in all, at the end, both Sheikh and Salif agree to the Birame City project. Salif actually wants to talk with Birame, but Birame tells him that he doesn't have any time because he needs to put everything in order for Birame City. Then we have one of the most important scenes of this whole episode. So the two twins, Yolande and Mam Binta, are sitting outside, and their dad is sitting in between them. Their dad is telling them that, you know, their mom is really needing them and that they have to be there for their mom. And then the other twin, Yolande, is like, yeah, but mom needs you too. And then Mam Binta is triggered because she's like, as if you care. And Yolande is like, how can you say that? It's the truth. We are no children. We know you married another woman without mom's knowledge, and that you are the reason for what happened to mom. Of course, the other twin is like, can you please stop? But she's like, no, I'm talking. You made us think that it was mom's fault that we were not living together, but it was your fault. Of course, Tahirou 2.0, like a real Senegalese dad, does not want their child back-talking. Asks her to sit down and behave like a child. But she's like, I'm not going to sit. Toguma. Tahirou 2.0 continues because he's like, no, this is for adults. Mam Binta is like, adult stuff that concerns us because we are part of the family, but you don't even consider us. Yolande is like, please have some respect. No, Yolande, I'm telling the truth. All I want is for mom to be happy. Of course, Tahirou 2.0 is like, no, that's all I want as well. If that was true, you would not have married another woman and put our mom's life in danger. She kisses her teeth and she is out. Yolande apologizes to her dad, tells him that she does not want him to go. And Tahirou 2.0 is like, no, I don't want to go either, but you have to take care of your sister. Then we see that Yolande is outside and Ben comes there to comfort her. She tells her that she shouldn't be alone outside, and they just talk about what happened. And Yolande is telling her aunt that, you know what, we are only fighting these days, she and Mam Binta. She's also saying that Mam Binta is actually really mad at her father, just like their mom. And in the end, it's just, you know, Ben telling her that, you know what, children should not actually pick any sides, and that they should actually just leave the parents to deal with the problems, and that also Yolande should not worry too much about her relationship with her sister because it's normal that they fight, but also to trust that it will not last that long. And in the end, Ben actually says something very touching to Yolande, that she should never allow anyone to change the way she thinks. Episode 20 actually finishes with a scene where you see Dalanda crying and crying and crying, and she's actually looking at the crib, and I suppose it's empty, but then Tahirou 2.0 comes in and she starts screaming at him. What are you doing here? You should have died instead. Ben comes, takes Tahirou 2.0 out. The twins come in to comfort their mom, and it's just very, very saddening. And I really feel sad for Dalanda. That was it for episode 20 of Maîtresse d'un homme marié. I don't know what to say about it because, again, it's too much about the twins, Ben, Tahirou 2.0. I just want to see other stuff as well. Like, I want to know, is mommy still in the show? How is it going with the case of Raki and Mustafa? Because we want to know whether they are going out of prison or that they have to do some real time. I really think it was really important for Mam Binta to actually say what she said to her dad, Tahirou 2.0, especially about that the adult things that are happening in their household actually concern them, and that they are not being considered within all the family stuff. That's the exact way I feel, because adults always want to think that their problems only are for adults, like it doesn't affect the children. I think that's very wrong to think as a parent. So I just want to see what Tahirou is going to do, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday.